What's up, YouTube? It's Kenny again. Yeah, it's going to be at least a 2 video day, all right? We got a lot of things to talk about. So I made the video on Lordstown Motors already this morning and what's going on with it. So we're not going to talk about that in this video. We're going to talk about some of the other stuff that's going on with the stocks that I'm in. And so before we get started, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a truck driver driving across the country, researching and trading stocks. And I will not be held responsible for any moves you make in the stock market. Not ever. I am not your mama. Do your own research, make your own decisions, and take responsibility for those decisions. Not your mama, all right? So, other than what's going on with Lordstown, we got some other things going on. First, I want to talk about Hyliion. Okay, Hyliion yesterday up almost 12%. Up some more in the pre-market this morning. They announced that they are expanding their facility there in Austin. Okay, they're going to be expanding not only the office space, but also their research and development area. They're going to be expanding so that they can do more installations as they move to commercialization. And so I expect Hyliion to continue to move up. Now, we're probably going to start seeing pictures of these new ERXs pretty soon. They're slated to be delivered in a couple of months to start getting delivered to these big mega carriers that they have created this council with and who are going to be doing a lot of the testing on the ERX models. So we're moving toward the stage where I expect to start seeing news about these ERXs. And, you know, we can probably look forward to seeing some more installations and orders of the hybrid system as well. But, you know, as you know, if you've watched my Hyliion videos, I'm not real bullish on the hybrid system, but they did get this pretty, you know, it's a small order, but, you know, they did sign up with this company to electrify their entire fleet. It's a fairly small fleet, but really the ERX is what I'm really bullish on. And, you know, them working with Schneider and Werner, I mean, the other companies that are involved in the testing phase and the council and all that are pretty large companies too. But Schneider and Werner, guys, I'm looking at them to make orders of this stuff. I mean, you know, Werner is real big on being the first one to adopt technologies, you know, and they're a huge mega carrier. I can remember 20 years ago, they were the very first company to adopt the electronic logs and to go fully electronic way before it was regulated. You know, and so they have shown a willingness to adopt new technologies. And then Schneider, they want away from the emission systems. Like when glider trucks were a thing and you could buy gliders to get away from the emission systems, Schneider was just scooping those things up, you know. And so I'm telling you, when the ERX, when they see that it works and they have the ability to start making orders for them, these two companies are going to probably order a bunch of them, all right? So I have good things for Hyliion that I expect going forward. Of course, I have for a long time. A lot of you are here because of me talking about Hyliion. And nothing's changed for me on that. You know, I'm not going to be a 10-year holder of it, but I do expect really good things out of Hyliion. And, you know, there's a possibility once I start making deposits again, I might increase my position on some dips if I find it, because I've got a really good cost basis right now. But like I said, I expect them to get up to, you know, in that $20 range before the end of the year. And I think it could go much higher. I think that like when the news starts coming out of these ERXs and we get more news that starts dropping about orders and stuff like that, I think it's going to go a lot higher, all right? So secondly, got some news on OEG. You know, OEG had gotten that 700-mile fiber contract and pushed the stock 115%. Now, it pulled back from there, as you would expect on a huge move like that. You know, it pulled back from there. Still held on to some of it. And today we get news that they just picked up a $64 million solar contract to build a utility-scale solar facility in Arkansas, and the stock's up 25% in the pre-market this morning. And, you know, like I said, after that last one, I knew more contracts would be coming. And I'm telling you right now, this will not be the last contract that they announce by the end of the year. I'm still expecting this stock to get up around $10, if not higher, before the end of the year, all right? It's just OEG is not a real hyped up stock, you know what I mean? So it's not an EV stock and stuff like that. But when news starts coming out about solar stuff and they start getting more solar contracts and more fiber optic 5G related contracts and stuff, people are going to start taking notice of this stock, and that's why I'm bullish on it, all right? So again, I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research on these companies, because, you know, like I talked about in the Lordstown video, it's important for you to build your own understanding of these companies and why that you think they will succeed or fail, and then to kind of tune out the news stories and the volatility. If you've done your research and you have a strong conviction in a company, then these fluctuations and, you know, the news stories from the pundits and stuff like that don't mean as much to you, because you're not scared of that, because you know what's going on with these companies. And that's the way I feel about these companies, about Lordstown Motors, about Hyliion, about OEG, about Enphase, these companies that I'm heavily invested in, you know, within the confines of the size of my account. You know, I'm heavily invested in these companies. And the reason is because I've done a bunch of research and I have decided for my own purposes that I believe in these particular companies. That doesn't mean that you have to believe in the companies. That doesn't mean that I'm right. I may be wrong. I don't have a crystal ball. You know, all I can do is do my own research to the best of my ability, make my own decisions using my own brain and my own instincts, and, you know, and then ride it out until it's at a place where I want to sell it, you know, and that's what I'm doing. That's what I've always done, and that's the only way I think that you can really do well in these growth stocks. I mean, these growth stocks are difficult to value, you know what I mean? And you can't use the normal methods of valuing, you know, companies like Walmart or Ford or, you know, even Amazon and stuff. You cannot value these new companies on the come up. You cannot value them in the same way that you value stocks that have been around for years, because there's a lot of history and past to look at on these other stocks that is not necessarily there on these growth stocks to look at and to extrapolate data for the future on. You have to understand what the company is doing and how it relates to what sectors or markets are going to flourish over the next several years, and then decide for yourself what you think that company is going to do. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not basing everything on the numbers, you know, because a lot of these companies like Hyliion, like Lordstown, they don't have any real numbers to base it on. You have to look at what a company is actually doing. Find as much information as you can about what a company is actually doing at their site, what is going on, because the people writing the news articles are not on your side. They are not on your side. They're on the side of big money, hedge funds, all that stuff. You know, those are the people who those articles are tailored towards. I don't know how else to put it, guys. You know, some people are able to look past the volatility and past what comes out in the media and, you know, what these pundits, the suits, have to say about these companies on their 10-year outlook or what, you know, and some people aren't, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, you know, and I have people on my list who think I'm crazy for investing in the stuff that I'm investing in, but that's my strategy. I don't have 20 years to try to build wealth. I'm not trying to get 10% a year. I'm trying to get 100%, you know what I mean? I'm trying to get big gains, and that's why I'm in the companies that I'm in. And so far, I'm pretty well. I'm doing pretty well. All right. Now Lordstown had a big drop, but they're still way above that $7 mark, and you know, and I'm like I said, I'm hoping it comes down. I'll average down some more because I believe in that company. Same thing with OEG. All right, and they've just announced another contract. It was up 25% here a minute ago. It could make another 100% move. Who knows what it's going to do when the market opens? No crystal ball here, all right? And Hyliion's the same thing. I think Hyliion is going to change the trucking industry in a big way. And that's a little ways off, okay? But in the shorter term, I feel like when all these news starts coming out, when these ERXs get delivered and we start getting test results and they start getting more orders and stuff, like it's going to catch on, all right? So I'm not a financial advisor. Do your own research. But I appreciate you guys' support. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Like the video. Leave me a comment below. Bring it on, guys. And join that Patreon. Support the channel. Help me build a retirement. All of that money and the money from YouTube goes into an M1 Finance account, which I update periodically. So consider supporting the channel. And thanks for watching.